Apologies there, guys. My connection decided that would be an appropriate time just to have a moment and drop out. No idea why. I blame the Virgin Internet. Must be a bit hot for it. Hopefully, it doesn't keep happening. So Scarenzi did a 117.4 to take him up to 4th place. Pretty much everyone, yep, everyone is now in the pits. So guessing most people will be retiring in the pits. So we can progress to Q2. So there's Cons and Scotty now to retire in the pits, and we can progress to the next round. You may have to open the door. Absolutely roasting in here tonight. Hopefully I don't get... Well, I will get a full leg of friend if I open that door, so I'm going to have to leave it closed for now. Just leave the fridge open for a minute just to cool the air down. So with 2 minutes left of Q1, we are literally waiting on Cons and Scotty to retire in the pits. You know, I seriously need to work on getting aircon in here. Waiting now for the Discord to tell me what the weather's going to be. King 5 Pounder said full wet for the race. So the stand-ins at the end of Q1, although it makes no difference because everyone is through to Q2. So Moylan set the best time in the session on a 16.7. Thornicus was on a 17.2, exactly half a second behind. Freedom on a 17.2, 5 thousandths off of Thornicus. Scorenzi on a 17.4, King 5 Panda on an 18.6, Scotty on a 19.1, and Martin on a 22.3. Everyone else didn't set a time. So here we go for Q2 now, where we could now start seeing some competitive times being set. I hope. Oh, I like Martin's weather, cloudy with a chance of DNS. And probably a scattering of safety cars. So we have an Alpine coming straight out onto track. And that will be Moyland, wanting to be the first one out, and followed by, I think, the second Alpine. Blues are a bit too similar, and a Ferrari. Non-human coming retired already. I said race director. Non-human has retired already. So that gives us 3 to lose at the end of this session. Hopefully we will get back to full grids soon, so everyone has got to push through all 3 quali sessions. So as Moylan now comes round the penultimate corner, getting ready to start his flying lap. Got a bit of traffic just coming out of the pits. He's going to catch probably around the end of sector 1. Hopefully everyone is paying attention to their track map and keeps out of the way. Though to be fair, most of the drivers in T1 have all got good race etiquette, so we'll be well aware of what's happening behind them, as Moylan does a 24.8 through sector 1. He's not actually caught the traffic in front. I thought he would have gained a bit more on it. They're obviously pushing to get those tyres up to temperature before they start their laps. So behind Moylan you've got Freedom and Speedy on their laps as well, as Moylan does a 51.3 through sector 2. Coming down the hill now into the final pair of left-hand corners. Good exit out of the final corner, and run to the line opens us up with a 17.1. Freedom's on a 54.3 3 in sector 2. Around the final corner now. Closely followed by Speedy. So Freedom's sets a 122.2 as Speedy crosses the line on a 17.6. Just over half a second off of his teammate, who's next on lap. Cons is on his out lap. Hepburn is coming round to finish his time lap as King 5 Panda does an 18.0. Hepburn goes top at the moment on a 16.6. SFR Martin coming round into the final couple of corners now. Got an Aston Martin in front of him. May give him a nice bit of tow down to the start finish line. Takes out the pit entry bar. Crosses the line on a 17.8 and Thornicus has set a 16.2. So the times are starting to drop now as everyone is trying to make their way through into Q3. Jump on board with Scotty as he decides to show us all how you do a 360 and keep it out of the wall. Frenzy's invalidated his current lap. Cons has invalidated his lap, keeping out the way. Hepburn. RL's in the pits. Frenzy's on an out lap. Thornicus on another push lap. Thornicus is on his way into the pits. And SFR Martin now coming around the final couple of corners. Not sure if he is actually on an in. He is on an in lap. Scotty's invalidated. Be going again. So we've got yellow flags in sector 1. Looks like any damage on the Mercedes. Cons has no front wing though. As Hepburn is round again, possibly cooked his rear tyres, needs to be careful now. Not to put Scotty off. Sit with Scotty as he goes round to set his first time lap of Q2. I think Cons is far enough in front not to be causing Scotty any issues. Scotty sets a 59.6 for sector 2. Scotty bails out of that lap. Cons is in the pits. RL is on an out lap. Renzi comes across the line on a 15.8. So some work to do from the boys at the back. You've got Freedom on a 22.2. Frenzy on a 20.8. Scotty, Cons and RRL yet to set a time. RRL is just starting his flying lap now. Looks to have a clear track in front of it. Oh. I'm more tired than I realised. Doesn't look like there's anyone that's going to be getting in the way of RRL as he... cannot stop yawning. I blame my hay fever and it's just too hot. It has to be turned off. No, put onto that one. So RRL does a 51-0 in Sector 1. Sector 2. Coming down the hill now to the final couple of corners. Keeps it well within the track limits. Now the final push to the line is going to be a 16.6, taking up to 5th. Identical time to that set by Freedom. Moreland and McDuckface both in the pits. Still got a few minutes before they need to go out if they want to push for a final lap. Frenzy's in the pit, Scott is on an out lap, Cons is on his out lap. Stick on board with Cons, see what he can do. Yellow flag moving through sector 3, but it's cleared now. .7 for Cons in sector 1. King Panda pushing to the no, comes into the pit, so we'll go back to Cons. Scotty on a 24-7 through sector 1. Cons a 51-7 in sector 2. I'm going to put that, giving Cons 17-7. I'm going to predict that, see how close I can get. So Cons now out the final corner, push to the line, and does a 17-7. Predictions are as good as they were last week then. So Scotty now on his run to the line, does a 17.5, takes Scotty up to 9th. Cons currently sitting in 11th with SFR Martin in 12th and Frenzy in 13th, so all in the danger zone. Driver at risk at the minute is Speedy. So I won't imagine Scotty would be feeling too safe on a 17.5 in 9th. I think Martin's definitely got the pace in him to improve. Speedy does improve by 4 hundredths, but stays 10th. As Duckface is now on a lap. Currently sitting in 7th. We'll see how he's improving as we go round the lap with him. 3 tenths up on sector 1. Put him on a 16.9. That would jump Moyland if he can maintain that pace. Be looking for another 3 or 4 tenths through sector 2 to try and get into the top 5. Comes up to the end of sector 2, does a 50.8, which is 6/10 improvement. So that is going to be putting him around about 4th or 5th, and possibly even 3rd. Around the final corner now, push to the line, DRS open, does a 16.5, jumped him up into third place. Nice improvement there. Speedy, still the driver at risk. He's currently on track but has no fuel, so won't be able to go for another run. As Martin is coming into the final couple of corners on his outlet. Cons has retired in the pit, so won't be making it through to Q3. Martin is going to be our last driver who can improve, as Frenzy is still in the pits. He's got a nice clear track out in front of him. He needs to find 2.5 tenths around this lap to make it through to Q3. At the end of sector 1, he is 2.5 tenths up, just over 2.5 tenths up, so he's up enough. Just needs to maintain that now around the rest of the lap. Double left-hander down the hill to Aqua Minerale. It's a nice exit there, pushing up the hill. He's now 6 tenths up on his current time. Put him on a 17.2. He's going to be looking to jump Moyland here and possibly break into the 116s. Pushing now to the line and a 17.1, which will see him through into Q3. So at the end of Q2, we will be losing Speedy, Cons, Frenzy, and Non-Human. Scarenzi has set quite a benchmark out in front on a 15.8. That's 4 tenths faster than Thornicus. But it is quite closely packed. There's a second overall between 3rd and 10th. Could make for an interesting Q3. That's not going to work. Hopefully that fan won't affect my mic for the stream. If it does, let me know in the comments. Seriously considering going and jumping in the paddling pool in between Q3 and the race just to cool down for a minute. Looks like we've got a few cars coming straight out onto track now. Everyone wanting to get a lap in. Who is first out on track? Looks like it is Duckface leading everyone round. So Duckface now opening up his lap, followed by Moyland, who's going to be getting some turbulent air, which might hinder his progress. We'll follow around with McDuckface, see what he can open us up with. A 24-7 through sector 1. Oh, my hay fever's just kicked into overdrive as well. I can barely focus on the screen. My eyes are watering that much. So into Aqua Minerale. We're now to the end of sector 2. Does a 51-0. Moyland does look to be gaining behind though, at least on the track map. See the times start to generate on the list. So Duckface crosses the line on a 16.8 and Moyland immediately improves on a 16.1. Freedom jumps up into second on a 16.1, 4 thousandths off of Moyland. King5 Panda 21.1. SFR Martin a 16.7. RRL jumps to the top on a 16.123. Scotty up in fourth on a 16.6. Thornicus comes across the line into fourth place on a 16.4. So that's everyone bar Hepburn and Scarenzi to have set a time. Both Hepburn and Scarenzi are on their outlaps. You have to judge this right with the traffic ahead of them, so they don't go too soon and end up getting held up. Hepburn will be the first of the final two to start their lap. Coming around the final corner now. Onto the line, got the DRS open. Braking right into turn 1 and 2. There's a 24.9 through sector 1 to the purple sector, at least according to the game at the moment. Down the hill into Aqua Minerale. Up now to the end of sector 2, 51.2 through sector 2. To the final couple of corners. I can hear my dog going mad. DRS open, run to the line, a 16.8 to take him up into 8th. Scarenzi had a 24.5 in sector 1, a 50.6 in through sector 2. Just the final run down the hill. It's the final couple of corners. Nicely. Now the push to the start finish straight and tops the times on a 16.0. So that's everyone's set a time now, although I don't think King5 Pandas is a representative time. So currently your provisional pole sitter is Scorenzi, followed by RRL, followed by Moyland, Freedom, Thornicus, Scotty, Martin, McDuckface, Hepburn and King 5-hander. So Moyland is now out on track, starting his next time lap. Williams, I think McDuckface just coming out of the pits, but doesn't cause him any issues. And needs to find a 10th around this lap to take him to provisional pole. He does find 10th and a half. We'll put him into the 15.9s. I think you're going to be looking at a 15.8 or a 15.7 for pole tonight. Through Aquamarale at the end of sector 2, he's a 50.3, which is nearly 3/10 up. I'm going to say he's going to be on a 15.7.4. See if my prediction can be right, going to 2 decimal places rather than just 1. Run to the line now, crosses the line on a 15.59, so no, my prediction was miles off. But that takes Moyland to the top and gives him provisional pole. Freedom coming round behind now. On the run to the line, gets the DRS open, crosses the line on a 15.95, taking him up into second. Dornicus is improving through sector 2, is 4/10 up. Just going to put him around the 15.9 mark. He needs to have a massive final sector if he wants to challenge for pole on this lap. Got a nice toe off the Aston Martin in front and crosses the line on a 15.8. So half a second improvement takes him up into second place. Scotty has invalidated his current lap. Duckface is 2/10 up on his time through sector 2. Coming now down to the final couple of corners. It's a good exit. Push to the line and goes into 6 on a 16.3. Scotty's got fuel. Yes, Scotty's got fuel for another run. Hepburn has just started his final flying lap. Scotty starting his lap. SFR Martin coming round sector 1 is slightly up by 17 thousandths. Hepburn is 3/10 up. Oh, Hepburn's lost it coming round the final corner. As I'm literally distracted for 2 minutes looking at Discord. Not the best thing to be doing. Scotty bails out of his lap. Duck face isn't pushing, so he's on 50 odd seconds through sector 1. So Martin is the only one who can improve. A minute, it does look like Moyland will be starting on pole. Yeah, Martin's not pushing his 9/10 down. So I believe that will be your grid for tonight. Moyland will be taking pole, Thornicus on second, Scorenzi in third, Freedom in fourth, RRL in fifth, Dutchface in sixth, Scotty in seventh, Martin in eighth, Hepburn in ninth, King 5 Panda in 10th. Scorenzi's AI needs to decide to come into the pit. There we go. So, just to confirm, Moyland takes pole tonight, followed by Thornicus, Scorenzi, Freedom, RRL, Duckface, Scotty, Martin, Hepburn, and King 5 Panda. Very close times at the top of the grid. The top 6 separated by 7/10. It should make for an interesting race. A couple of drivers who were in RPR on Monday have already raced Imola, and a couple of these drivers are also racing Imola in CP2 after this race at about 10:30. So they'll have plenty of practice for CP2. So just as a reminder, it will be broadcast formation lap due to the latest bug introduced in one of the previous updates. It's the only way that all the drivers can start with warm tyres, otherwise everyone is on freezing cold tyres apart from the host, who would have the opportunity to start on warm tyres.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway here in Italy. The front runners on the grid will want a nice fast start as the open chicane can
So
provide some
Moyland
overtaking
has
potential.
opted to start on the hard tyre, Thornicus, Scorenzi and Freedom on the medium, RL and Scotty on the hard, Martin and Hepburn
So as all the cars
on the
take their
medium,
positions on the
King
grid,
5
the
Panda
teams
on
will
the
be hoping their
hard,
strategies pay off for them in
Speedy
today's
and
race.
Cons
The
on the
question I'm
medium,
asking is which
and the
teams
back
have got it
three
right,
on the hard.
which ones have got it horribly wrong?
So depending how the weather goes, it does look a little cloudy. The hards do last quite well around here. An interesting split on strategies for everyone. As we now wait for the lights. 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go. Moreland looks to get a bit of wheel spin coming off the start, which has given Thornicus the opportunity to get past. Renzi's trying to make a move round the outside into turn 1 and has got it done. Moreland is fighting back into the chicane now. Moreland backs out to give Scorenzi space. So let's just change the detail to position change. So Moreland's dropped down 2 places. I think those harder tyres gave Scorenzi and Thornicus an advantage on the start. Freedom and RRL stayed where they were. Hepburn's gained 2. Scotty has dropped 2. Speedy's up 1. Panda's down 1. And Cons and Frenzy have both dropped 2. Non-Human and Duckface have gained 2 off the start as well. As Non-Human gets a move done on Panda there. So Thornicus has opened up a 6/10 gap out in front, as the fastest lap is apparently 19 seconds. Scorenzi is closing that down. Moreland's hanging on the back. He's half a second behind. Apparently Freedom's a minute behind. Oh, I love the timing ball glitch. So we'll ignore that and just try and keep an eye on movements. Duckface has got past Panda. Cons is out. Let's see Cons go out. Cons has DNF'd. Not entirely sure what happened there, completely missed it. Didn't bring out the safety car or VSC, so obviously got it cleared away. One of the is starting to drop back a little now on Scorenzi. As DRS is enabled. So hopefully Moreland can use the DRS to fight his way back towards the front. Or he is going to be going just for the alternate strategy and trying to take those hards as far as they'll go and have the advantage at the back end of the race when he is on the faster mediums. Freedom is hanging on the back there as well. The gaps are all quite close. No one's really broken, well, no one has broken a second gap at the moment. As a Non-Human does, literally as I say, it slips to just over the second off of Scotty. So we're going to have a bit of a DRS train down the start finish straight in a minute. Non-Human is closing that gap back up now. As the detection zone for the DRS is before the penultimate corner. It looks like I think everyone will have DRS, as we've got Aston Martin of Scotty spins it coming out of the final corner. This has dropped him all the way to the back of the grid. Scorenzi's made it past Thornicus and looks to be pulling away out in front. Moreland is right over the back of Thornicus now. Freedom's close up as well, which I think is down to the DRS on that start finish straight. Moreland's hard should, by lap 4 now, should just be coming up to a nice temperature. Oh, excuse me. as Freedom picks up his first time penalty, or the first time penalty. So it looks to be opening into two distinct groups here. You've got first through to 7th, although non-human is trying to hang on the back there. Doesn't have the DRS to help him close up into turn 1. And then Speedy and Duckface going side by side. Duckface has got the move done into turn 1. We've got Ferrari of Freedom is round. Got it back going again. Doesn't look to have any damage, but that's dropped him back down to 12th. Oh, sorry, all the way down to 12th. Scorenzi's opened up the gap to Cornicus to 9/10. Trying to extend that to break the DRS. Moylan's just under the half a second mark back. Looks to be hanging on well. Hepburn's got RRL for company, so go through the final chicane. Back to the front to see if Moylan can make use of the DRS, as Scorenzi is outside the DRS range of Cornicus now, so Moylan will have the advantage. As the DRS open, goes up the inside of Cornicus and gets the move done. He can get the car turned in. So what can he do with a little bit of clean air in front? Can he close that down to Scorenzi? RRL's got past Hepburn. SFR Martin and Non-Human now right on the back of them. Duckface, Speedy, Panda and Frenzy all in their own little DRS train. Hepburn out. As we've got a safety car. Which is going to make the strategy options interesting now. Scorenzi is coming into the pits. Moreland stays out. Cornicus is pitting. Alright, L stays out. Let's put the tyres everyone's on. So Martin being up into third is on 6-lap old mediums. Looks like everyone else who started on the mediums has pitted. Cornicus and Frenzy have both pitted softs in the pit stop line. As Scorenzi, unfortunately, there loses it. I think the cold, hard tyres caught him out. That's going to hurt him now. He's going to have to be back into the pits and either refit his medium medium tyres, or fit a set of softs. Probably has got time to get in, fit either the mediums or a set of softs, get round, get back out, get back in, fit the hards back on. He wants to try and push those to the end of the race. Still be out in time to catch the safety car before it comes in. Scott has picked up a 3-second time penalty there. Frenzy's into the pits as well, taking off his soft rubber, fitting a set of hards. Frenzy's fitting the soft, gets held there whilst Frenzy's coming out of his pit box. So the main gainers here are RL and Martin, who jumped up to second and third. Non-humans jumped up into fourth. Duckface in fifth. Cornicus has dropped down into sixth. Panda and Speedy gained a couple of places off the start now. Freedom's dropped down to ninth. Scotty's recovered from his earlier spin with the safety car, allowing him to close up on the pack, and is now in 10th. Frenzy and Scorenzi, unfortunately, is back in the pits, I'd imagine. This was a bug that appeared randomly in 2021 at Imola. Obviously where we are tonight. As you're trying to exit the pits, the AI just decides the best thing to do is drive completely along the pit wall. I'm just hoping it doesn't reset him in the middle of the track as the safety car pack are going through, but this is going to hurt Scorenzi massively because he's now a lap down, as his car is just coming to the end of the pit lane. This happened to Mrs. Carl in GP2, I think about 4 or 5 laps in a row, or 4 or 5 pit stops. Thankfully doesn't look to have caused any damage to his wing, but that's massively screwed Scorenzi in this race. So he'll be fighting his way round to the back of the pack, but is a lap down on everyone now. Half expected safety car to be in this lap as the pack is all together, as Moylan decides to go for a bit of Imola drifting and drops a place to RRL. The safety car is in this lap. I'd imagine Moylan was trying to warm his tyres. Got a little bit carried away there. Didn't look to pick up any damage there. So at the restart, RRL will lead us away from Moylan, Martin, Non-Human, Duckface, Cornicus, King Pie Panda. Cornicus will be one to watch for on those soft tyres. Everyone in front on hard. No, Martin's still on the medium. Cornicus is going to have so much more traction out of the corners for the first few laps. As RRL is gone now. Didn't look to catch Moyland off guard. Martin's coming under pressure from Non-Human as Non-Human goes round the outside into turn 1. Dark Space went a little deep, allowing Cornicus to get the run up the outside. Coming into the chicane now. Cornicus backs out there, but Duckface has run deep again, which has allowed Cornicus through, as it looked to be an Aston Martin in the background getting sideways. I think that was Scotty, unfortunately for Scotty. Dropped him down to the back. Scorenzi has retired in the pits. And by the looks of it, his car is possibly doing the same again, dragging itself along the barrier on the way out of the pits. So back to the front now. Moylan's maintaining that gap at around 4/10 as they come round for the second lap after the safety car. So DRS will be enabled next lap, so another couple of laps before they'll be able to get the benefit of that. Barnacus is pushing hard, has the better traction out of the corners. He's putting Martin under pressure. Can we get the move done? Difficult track to overtake. Looks to the inside. He's right on the back of Martin here. Not able to get past into the chicane. Can he make anything down the start-finish straight now before DRS? Martin looked to get a good exit and is opening the gap. Monaco's trying to stay in the slipstream, but has got back a tenth or two on the start-finish straight. Moylan's maintaining the gap around 4/10. Non-human sitting half a second back and just watching in front to see if anyone makes a mistake. Freedom trying to close the gap on Speedy. Panda trying to close the gap on Freedom and keep the gap from Frenzy. Scotty's managed to recover. He's just 1.7 off the back of Frenzy now. Looks to be closing that gap as it starts working back up. Sod's Law. Moylan's dropped off the back of RRL a little through the middle sector. The gap's now up at 8/10. And Humans dropped a couple of tenths off of Moyland. Martin and Thornicus are still battling. Thornicus had better exit there with the DRS. Goes up the inside of Martin and gets the move done. Fairly straightforward DRS pass there. And can now focus on trying to close down Non-Human. Making the most of those soft tyres. And I completely missed Moyland getting past RRL. I was too busy looking at the battles further back. So can Moyland break the DRS? Don't think he's going to be able to unless RRL has a nightmare exit from the chicane. Making quite a bit of curb there, but keeping it within the half a second. He's actually gaining a tenth or so in the run to the penultimate corner, so we'll have DRS on the start finish straight here. We'll stay on board with RRL, see if he can get the move done on Moyland. DRS open. I think he's a little bit too far back. Gained 3/10 down that straight, so if he's within 3/10 of Moyland next time around, I think he'll be able to get the move done. Moyland on the slightly harder, older tyre. No, both on 13 lap old hards. Same with Non-Human. Cornicus's softs have done 7 laps. A few of those were behind the safety car, but they will be starting to drop off as the gap to Non-Human has increased to 2.2. Martin's keeping within the DRS at the moment of Thornicus. It'll be how he gets the power down out. That won't help him, as Martin's gone round coming out of the chicane. Gets the car turned round, doesn't look to have picked up any visible damage. That's unfortunately dropped Martin to the back of the grid. But Thornicus has got a bit of breathing space now. Ducksface has got Freedom's company. Even with DRS, Freedom is only just starting to close in. That's RRL. And Moyland have been round, by the looks of it. Moyland's now dropped down to third. He's got Duckface right on the back of him. Non-Human is in first now. Thornicus in second. And we have another safety car as RRL has DNF'd. So with 15 laps completed, we've got another 17 laps to go. Let's see what people are deciding to do. Non-Humans coming into the pit, Thornicus is coming into the pits, Moyland into the pits, Duckface into the pits. Freedom stays out and will inherit the lead. Speedy staying out and will take up second place. Frenzy and Panda are into the pits. Scotty's into the pits. Martin pitted the previous lap as the safety car was called, so excuse me, he won't lose anything, and this will give him a chance to regain on the back of the pack. So non-humans on the medium. Thornicus has gone on to a new set of hard tyres. Moyland, Duckface, Frenzy all onto new mediums. Scotty is in the pits. Just coming out, he's refitted his hard tyres. Panda's gone on to the mediums, and Martin had fitted new hards. Let's see if Moyland. It's back for his hard. What have I missed? And looks to be struggling on the cold hard. So it's spun around couple of times now. It looked to massive wheel spin on the way out of the pits and has just spun it out of turn 3. I think we're going to have one more lap behind the safety car, which will give Moyland a chance to catch up to the back of the grid. So Freedom and Speedy on 10 lap old hards. Non-Human is on new mediums. Thornicus on new hards. Duckface and Frenzy on new mediums. Scotty on 8 lap old hards. Panda on new mediums. Martin on new hards. Moyland back into the pits again. So a set of mediums waiting there. Car looks to have found its way down the pit lane without trying to turn left constantly. So Moyland needs to push on a little bit because the safety car, I'm guessing, will be in at the end of this lap. Back. We'll go on board with second place to see how the restart goes. It's not called safety car in yet. Oh, there we go. I've not had an email saying I've won the lottery. No, that's not happened. It just seems I'm saying stuff about the game, it literally decides, no, we'll do something that you're saying's not happened. So here we go then. Second safety car restart. See how Freedom leads them away. And Freedom has spun it coming out of the final corner, trying to get the power down a little too early, which has dropped him now down into 10th place. Speedy has inherited the lead, but Non-Human is all over the back of him on those newer mediums that have better traction at the final corner. Side by side, everyone getting 5-second penalties for ignoring yellow flags. Not entirely sure why, but Speedy and Non-Human contact into turn 1. So Thornicus has now inherited the lead. Duckface all over the back of him. Scotty is now up into 3rd place. I'm guessing those ignoring yellow flag penalties were as they were passing 2 cars that were off track. If no one needs to pit again, if that was the case, I'm sure putting the report into the stewards will get the 5 seconds removed. Scotty is under attack from Frenzy, who is on pressure mediums, as Scotty has had a massive oversteer moment coming out of the final corner. Duckface is making the move and has got past Thornicus out for the lead now. Frenzy's up into 3rd place. Non-Human has retired in the pits. Speedy is in the pits for a new wing. So Duckface out in front from Thornicus and Frenzy. Moyland now up into 5th place and on the back of Panda. Looks to be trying to get the run into the final chicane. Didn't quite have the overspeed there to make a move. I'm expecting to see something down the start finish straight though. Around the final corner. Tight in the slipstream of Panda in front. Goes up the inside and gets the move done on the start finish straight, and it's clear in front into turn 1. Nice move there by Moyland. Right on the back of Freedom. Right, with the newer hard tyre, should have a bit better grip on the corner exits. Speedy now quite detached from the pack in front, not having to make that pit stop for a new wing. So Duckface is just outside the DRS range for Thornicus. Frenzy's 1.7 back. Moyland looks to be closing him in. He won't have DRS this time round. I'm sure he'll be able to keep on the back of Frenzy and get the DRS next time around. Freedom should have DRS on Panda and is closing the gap. Could have done with another couple of 100 yards on that straight to have been able to challenge into turn 1. As Scotty is back in the gravel. Moyland now within 3/10 of Frenzy. So get a good exit from the chicane and he should have DRS. Might even get the move done before the DRS detection point. So into the final corner. Moyland right on the back of Frenzy, topped into that slipstream as the DRS open. Pulls to his left hand side, goes round the left hand kink and is clean in front even before the braking zone for turn 1. So Moyland will now be chasing down Thornicus, trying to improve on his current podium position. Freedom's still in the DRS range of Panda, but hasn't been able to get the move done. Have we got anyone else that's close? Thornicus is starting to close down on Duckface now, out in front. He's got that gap down to 7/10. Duckface probably starting to feel a little bit of wear on those medium tyres now. Thornicus' hards should just be getting better and better for the moment. Thornicus gets the DRS, but he was 8/10 off when they crossed the activation line. So he's going to close that up to, gets that down to 7.5 so he gained a 10.5 on the Duckface there. Needs to find half a second to McDuck's face as Moyland is round again. After all that work to recover Moyland, come on. So McDuck's face and Thornicus out in front of a 6-second gap back to Frenzy. Freedom's trying to close down on the back of Frenzy now, haven't got past King Pie Panda. Oh, stop yawning. Ugh. The main battle is this one out in front at the moment as they come round to the start-finish straight. Thornicus is 4/10 back on McDuck's face this time. That extends to 5.5 at the activation zone. I think the Duckface has still got the better traction out of that final corner. Gutted for you, Scorenzi. That's one of the worst bugs in this game, especially as it only affects random drivers and just destroys your race. Nothing really you could do. Like you say, it's just really unfortunate. But next week will be better. So Thornicus is hanging on to the back of McDuckface. Gets the DRS again. Still not really able to make any real progress with the DRS. Closes off the 10.5 again. And McDuckface opens that out through turns 1 and 2. And we've got Speedy just in front of McDuckface now as a lapped car. And he has pulled off the racing line to allow the leaders through. Good awareness there, Speedy. Also means you don't get involved in the middle of the battle. So Thornicus is keeping that gap around the 4/10 mark. Closing it in this time on the run down to the detection zone. Got the gap down to 0.28. Duck's face looks to have got a slightly better exit out of the final corner. So again, it was 4/10 as they crossed the activation line. This is starting to close it down, taking a 10th off, 10.5 again. It just needs to find that little bit extra traction coming out of the final corner. It needs to hope that McDuck's face's mediums start to fall off so he loses some of the traction he's gaining out of that corner. And the other battle, Panda's on the back of Freedom. Freedom's 20 lap old hards. As Freedom's round, Panda couldn't really do anything about that, but ended up clipping the back wheel of the spinning Freedom and has broken one of the end plates off of his front wing. One of the update patch notes I saw said that you will now get more effect of aero from broken wings, so those previous versions, earlier patches of the game didn't do anything to alter the fact that you could not really tell when you had a broken wing because the handling remained very similar. Panda does look to be carrying on with that damage, trying to make the most of it, as he dropped too far down if he pitted now with only 4 laps to go. Martin behind, keeping him just in sight. Thornicus is closer again to McDuckface, but hasn't been able to get the move done. I'll keep an eye on some of the split time, see if Martin can close in on Panda to try and take 4th place on track. Moylan's starting to close in on Martin as well. So coming out of the final chicane, Thornicus is 3/10 off of Dutch Face, Martin's 6/10 off of Panda, Moylan's 9/10 back from Martin. At the final corner, Thornicus again's dropped back, is half a second back as they hit the activation point. I don't think he's going to have enough to be able to get the move done on that face. Seems to have him covered, as Martin has got past Panda, and Moylan has also got past Panda and looks to be making a move around the outside, but backs out of it without Martin's space. Still fighting down now into turn 3, 4, 5. All over the back of Martin now. Got to keep an eye on the track map to see if Thornicus is trying to go around the outside of McDuckface into the final chicane. Couldn't quite get it done. Certainly made McDuckface aware that he's there and wants that 1st place position. Again, McDuckface just seems to get a better drive out of that final corner. Open the gap by 1/10.5 as Thornicus is starting to close it back down. Gets it back down to half a second, which is what it was at the exit. As Moylan has managed to get past Martin on the start-finish straight. Can he keep it together now? No more spins, Moylan, or you will drop all that hard work you've done. As Panda's just picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Possibly down to that front wing damage. He went at the turn in into some of the corners, which will end up making him run wide and pick up those warnings. Can Moylan do anything to close the gap down to Frenzy? With penalties at play, this could all change. Duckface out in front. Thornicus is right on the back of him that time. Looks to be going for the move around the outside of turn 3. Didn't quite have the pace to get it done. It's certainly got better traction on the exits of the corners now. Have McDuckface's tyres started to drop off. Going to give Thornicus one more crack at this. DRS straight down the start finish. And might be able to do it on the very final lap, but I think he'd want to get it done this lap. definitely got better drive out of the final chicane there. Right on the gearbox of McDuck's face. Just needs to stay with him through this final corner and get the traction, get the drive, so he's 3/10 but closing. Duck's face is ERS light flashing away. I just realised I'm not put telemetry on, so I've no idea what he's got left. Veronicus didn't quite have enough. Looked to go for a move around the outside of turn one, but Duck's face had that covered off. Holland has taken a couple of seconds out of Frenzy's third place. We're within 3 seconds now. Might be important when it comes to the penalties. So into Acma Minerale now for the final time. Veronicus have dropped back a little bit on McDuck's face. He's closing it up. With the traction out of the corner, so out of the final chicane. How much can he close it up? Duck's face looks to be covering off Veronicus. It's the drag to the start finish now. DRS open, but not enough time to make the move, so Duck's face takes the win. Veronicus in second, Frenzy crosses the line in third, Moyland in fourth, but jumps up to third with the penalties. Martin takes fifth. Panda comes across in sixth. Freedom crosses the line in seventh, stays seventh. So just waiting now on Scotty and Speedy. Oh. Scotty now coming round the final corner. Crosses the line to take eighth. The Speedy now coming round that final corner. And takes ninth place. So there we have it, folks. That has been the Imola Grand Prix for Tier 1. Duckface gets driver of the day from the game. I'd say, yeah, from the drive he had, he kept it clean, took advantage of the safety cars. Had a tidy battle with Veronicus in second place. Yeah, I think he deserves that one. Well done, McDuckface. So, your final standings, McDuckface takes the win, Veronicus in second, Moyland picks up third and the final podium position. I'm sure he'll be happy with that recovery drive after the spins he'd had. Frenzy takes fourth, Martin takes fifth, Panda sixth, Freedom seventh, Scotty in eighth, Speedy in ninth, and your DNFs were Non-Human, RRL, Scorenzi, who got screwed by the pit bug, Hepburn, and Cons. Thank you for watching. I need to jump off and go and sort myself out before I restart a stream in about 15-20 minutes for RPR GP2. But we'll see you again, same time next week.